So today we're going to be learning how to do the chain stitch, and in the same family is the lazy daisy. So I'll be showing different samples of the different weights that we have, the 8 weight, the 5 weight, and the 3 weight. But to demonstrate, we're going to start with our 8 weight thread right here. And this is a pearl cotton by WonderFil called Eleganza. So actually there are several different ways to do the chain stitch, and everyone has learned their own different methods. The method that I'm going to be going over today is we're going to be actually working in an upward direction. So I will demonstrate first by just coming up through the bottom of your line here. I typically like to hold the thread with my left hand, my thumb, because we're going to be needing that loop again. So I go a little bit next to where I came up, and then I pop back out on the center line, and I pull my needle through like this, and then that's your first loop. And so to keep it a continuous chain, I do the same thing by holding the thread with my left thumb. If you don't want to do a single stitch through and back up, you can always pull your thread through like this, and without pulling the thread all the way through, you can always just come back up before your loop is pulled tight. So I'll demonstrate again. I'm holding it with my left thumb, going next to where I came up, push the needle through, don't pull it tight yet, come back up onto that center line, make sure your needle comes up through that hoop, through the loop, and pull it tight. The chain stitch can also be used for many applications because it makes a bolder line than simply a back stitch or even a stem stitch. It adds a little bit more dimension. So also great for outlining objects or creating motifs with it, like if you're adding trees or structure to a building and you want to have bolder lines to outline. Chain stitch is definitely a great option for that. So just again, going through the bottom, coming up on the line, and making sure that your needle comes up through. And once you get a little bit faster, or you're not using as tight of a hoop as I am, you can just go down, pop up on the center line, and just pull through. And that kind of helps skip a step. When you're ready to finish your chain stitch line, you can just make a small tack on this side of the hoop, right there. And that's your chain stitch complete. So now we've learned the chain stitch, we're going to be learning the detached chain stitch, also known as a lazy daisy. So it's very simple. You just start with the base of the chain again. I'm again holding it with my thumb, going back next to where I came up just slightly. And before I pull the thread through, I'm going to bring the needle back up, make sure it's hooped under that thread, pull it through, and then you're just going to tack it down right there. And that is a detached chain stitch. So it's very simple. You can use them kind of randomly, you can have them scattered. Frequently they're used to create flowers. Go back in next to where I came up, a little bit forward, make sure the thread is behind the needle, pull it through, and then tack it down. When you're doing a detached chain stitch or a chain stitch in general, for me personally, I don't like pulling the thread too tight. Otherwise, you don't get the nice little loop that you see with the chain stitch. You leave a little bit of space, so keep an eye on your tension when you're doing that as a little tip. So there we go. So all I've done here is do some more lazy daisies in kind of a flower shape like what I mentioned before. These are just 5 separate detached chain stitches. all coming from a similar area. I'm actually not coming up from the same spot over and over. Otherwise, that'd just be too much thread and you'd have some issues with pulling the thread through. But they're all really close together and you can kind of create this flower shape. I also did the chain stitch in different directions so you can see the different looks of them, as well as showing you all the different weights that I mentioned earlier before. This is the 8 weight, the 5 weight, and the 3 weight right there. And as you move up in weight, you definitely have to increase the size of your stitches to create a nicer look. But here's a closer look at doing chain stitches and lazy daisies or detached chain stitches with the different weights of thread.
Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more great tips, tricks, and tutorials. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter to get the first look at free projects, sewing tips, and inspiring tutorials delivered right to your inbox. Check out the description box below to sign up, as well as find a list of stores and retailers that you can purchase WonderFil threads from in your country.